So make sure and study and drill those into your brain. So now that we're done with the regular polygons, let's move on to triangles. And you'll read on page 463 to page 467. And we'll go over problems 1, 3, 6, 12, and 14. All right, so let's go over our problems that we were asked to do in the triangle section. But before we do that, just know that there is a reference page, all the formulas that we've been going over, and it's on page 896, and it'll also be given to you when you take the GED. So don't get overwhelmed with the formulas, just know what they are and how to use them. So let's look at problem 1 under triangles, and let's figure these out. So number 1 asks in triangle PQR, which is PQR, which is a right triangle, it gives us the value of this angle, which is 23, and they want us to find angle R, okay? So knowing what we know about triangles, interior angles will equal 180. We can use our formula from before, which states 180 times n minus 2 will give us the measure of all of our interior angles. So n being the number of sides, we have 3 sides in a triangle minus 2. So you have 180 times 1, which equals 180. So always the interior angles of a triangle will equal 180. Knowing that, this will be simple. This means this is 90 degrees and this is 23. So we'll add those together to get 113. And all we have to do is subtract 113 from 180. And we get that angle R is 67, which is selection D. Pretty simple. So let's move on using the rules that we know about interior angles equaling 180. Let's move on to number 3 and apply it to that problem as well. So number 3, we have 2x degrees, 3x degrees, and then x degrees. On this one, it's asking us to just find the value of x. This one will be easy because we know that the interior angle equals 180. So we'll set us up an algebraic expression. 2x plus 3x plus 2x plus x equals 180. This one's pretty simple because all of our bases are the same. So 3 plus 2 plus 1 is going to equal 6x. Okay, and to get x isolated by itself, we divide both sides by 6. And x would leave us with 30. So that is our answer. X equals 30, which is selection C. Now remember on the test, if they ask you a measure of a specific angle, you'd have to take your 30 and put it into the equation and then get your answer like that. So let's move on to number 6, similar triangles. Similar triangles, you have like a big triangle versus a small triangle. And it's saying that they're similar, so that means that you can set them up as ratios. Okay, so you have this side is 6, this side is 4, and you have this side is 4, and this side is B. So using our ratios, we have, the ratios are equal to each other. So the ratio of this is 6 to 4 equals the ratio of the bigger to the smaller, 4 over B. All we have to do is cross multiply and get our answer. So we have 6b equals 16. So to get b by itself, we have to divide 16 by 6. Let's do it over here. And this will go 2 times, which is 12. All right, so now we're left with an improper fraction of 2 and 4/6, which can be reduced to 2 2/3. So your answer for B is 2 2/3. That's all it asks, so that would be selection A. Okay, let's move on and let's do number 12. Just remember, when you're doing similar triangles, you can set them up as proportions equal to each other, and then you can solve for your variables. So number 12, it's asking us to find the area of triangle PQR. Let's draw our triangle. And we have P, Q, over over here, and R. It also gives us measure of the height, which is a perpendicular line drawn from an angle to the base. This states that our base is 11 and that our height is 7. Now, if you look at your formula sheet, it'll tell you what the area of a triangle is. So the area of a triangle equals 1/2 your base times your height. So knowing that, let's plug it in. Area equals 1/2 your base, which is 11, times your height, which is 7. Okay, and let's solve. So 1/2 of 77, 11 times 7 is 77. So 77 divided by 2 equals 3 times 2 is 6. 2 goes into 17 8 times. Draw our decimal. Add a 0. And we get 38.5. So 1/2 base times height, you just take 1/2 times your base times your height, work it out, and we got 38.5 as our area. Okay, let's move on to number 14 using our formula and solve for that one as well. Okay, so 14 states, find the area of triangle ABC. So let's draw a triangle. Okay. We have A, B, and C. It also shows that we have a right triangle. So let's look. We have 9 centimeters here. And they also give us this as 15 centimeters. Find the area of the triangle is 1/2 base times the height. This being our base, this being our height. So we have to find the other leg of the triangle. Remember, we're going to utilize our Pythagorean theorem formula to find it. So let's write out our Pythagorean theorem. We have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. C being your hypotenuse, which is opposite of the right angle. A and B being the legs, which are the sides that are connected to your right angle. So let's plug it in. We have a squared plus b squared, which is 9, equals 15 squared. Okay, so we have a squared plus 81 equals 15 squared, which is 225. So now we have to isolate a by itself, so we take 81 and subtract it from both sides. And you get a squared equals 144. Now, looking at our square roots that we had to memorize, 144 should ring a bell, and that means it's a perfect square root, which a would equal 12. Okay, so we found our side, which is 12. Now all we have to do is plug in our formula for area. And area formula is 1/2 base times height. So let's plug in our numbers. 1/2 times the base times our height. Now if you see this, 2 can go into 12, so you can cancel out your 2. And the 12, it will go 6 times. So 6 times 9 is 54. And there you go. There's our area. Number 14, our area is 54 centimeters squared, which is selection A. So now that we went over triangles, let's go over quadrilaterals, which is on page 4.